Hey folks, this is going to be a quick and dirty video on how to install tritium on your spinner. Especially the spinners like this iFidget Tungsten Tri from Venom Mods. Sam Passenger did a killer job with this. Super heavy, super smooth, it spins more than 15 minutes. And these amazing buttons to accompany it is a ModusWorks superconductor nickel buttons that Jonas Nix made. So shout out to both of those guys. This is one of my top favorite spinners right now. And I've already installed, it doesn't look like it, but these are orange tritium. And I want to show you how I can install it on the other side while I finish this job. You would need obviously a spinner with a cutout. You should buy the tritium from Mixglow. I'm sure there's some other places, but this is a good place to buy. It ships out, from, I believe, Taiwan, so it takes a while. You need to buy the right size. And this particular slot is cut out for the tritium size of 1.5 by 6 millimeters. So make sure you get the correct one, otherwise you're gonna find yourself with glue, everything is ready, and then you're putting in there, it's like doesn't fit, crap. So you don't want to find yourself in a bad situation. So make sure you do your due diligence and find out what the correct sizes are. You also need to buy a glue that specially cures in UV light. This is called a Norland 61, NOAA 61, Norland 61. I didn't buy a big one because I don't think I'm going to be using this anytime soon. So I bought this, and I also bought a syringe that comes from that company, Mixglow. And this will help me do a cleaner job. And I have some Q-tips handy to kind of tidy things up. So first and foremost, you will need to take the glue, and you don't need a lot, by the way. You don't need to fill the whole thing. You just need to fill that slot. So I'm going to create a droplet right there. You see a drop? And I'm going to make sure it falls in that crevice. Bam. It fell in. I think we're good right there. And then I'm, without pinching myself or puncturing myself, I'm going to take this needle carefully, make sure it's nicely mixed up, and the glue is all spread out nice and even. And then I'm going to take this nice needle nose tweezer and drop this ice blue tritium in that slot. And I'm not gonna let it just sit like that. I'm gonna just push it down a little bit, make sure the glue will cover not just the bottom but the top of this tritium. And I'm gonna use this syringe needle to spread it out nice and even. Okay, if you have a major overflow, I would suggest that you use the Q-tip to clean it up, and make sure this is installed right in the middle, because being an OCD person, you don't want this to be on one side and it's going to be very obvious. So that's pretty much in the middle. And I'm going to do the second slot, same thing. Drop right there. Perfect drop. And I'm going to spread this baby out with the needle. Make sure there's no bubbles. There's a little bubble here. I'm gonna pop that bubble. Now it's nice and even. And then I'm gonna drop the second one onto that slot. Bam. And again, bring the syringe, and I'm gonna make sure it is submerged. I'm gonna make sure that the top is fully flush. The glue has covered both. I think this one might need a little bit more just to fill the crevice. So now this is pretty much done. So I'm gonna do the third one. I'll make sure the tritium is installed right in the middle, and the glue is flush. And even if the glue overflows, like I said, don't worry about it, because once it cures, you can chip it off. Or rub it off. So I'm gonna now put this in the UV source to make sure the glue is hardened. So I have placed the spinner with the tritium installed with the glue. It's not cured yet, so it is now sitting in the UV source. And just want to make sure people know that you don't want to do both sides at the same time, because there's something called gravity, and you don't want gravity to fall, bring the glue and everything out of the socket of that crevice, and it'll be just messy on the other side. So you only want to do this one side at a time. And I purchased this UV source from Amazon, and it's made by Melody Susie. You know, you can buy this one and tell your wife, honey, I got something for you. And secretly you have two uses, you know, double uses for it. So it's a good way to kind of, you know, appease your significant other, especially if they're not into spinners and they're already kind of annoyed by the fact that you're spending so much money on spinner related stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna turn this thing on. Now it's on, and this particular source will create a UV wavelength of 365 nm. I don't know what that stands for, nm, but it's the measurement of UV rays. And if it goes above that at like 395, according to Vincent, you don't want it. I don't think it will properly cure the glue. So make sure you purchase the correct one. And you're supposed to leave this in here about 3 to 5 minutes. But I just like to leave it in there for at least 5 minutes. You know, there's no hurry. And it can't hurt to have glue cured extra hard. So when this is done, after 5 minutes, I'll come back and show you guys the end result. Now, through the magic of editing, it's been over 5 minutes, and it is time to turn this thing off. So I'm gonna carefully take the spinner out. It's a little bit warm inside. And then I'm gonna show you guys the end result. So, as you can tell, it is hardened. You can't really move it. It's become almost like an acrylic, plastic acrylic. And you notice over here in this particular arm, I spilled the glue on the side here. And I told you guys not to freak out, because you can actually use something like this syringe to scrape off the excess glue. You see how it's like chipping out or flaking out very easily without putting a lot of pressure on it. So I pretty much got rid of the excess glue that's on the edge, and it is clean. It is absolutely clean now. So again, it's not that bad. You know, again, you can do this at home. You don't need to pay anybody to do it. It's definitely a DIY project. I'm gonna take this to a dark area and show you what this looks like.